Hello, my name is Jenny. We're going to be doing a 45-minute restorative yoga class today. You're not going to need any equipment for this, so just grab a mat. Even if you don't have a mat, just a comfortable place on the floor. And we're going to get started in child's pose. So bringing your knees as wide or as narrow as comfortable for you, and sending your hips down towards your heels, walking your hands forward, and coming to rest your forehead on the mat. Maybe rocking your head side to side here. You can keep your fingertips reaching forward, or if you'd like, you can bring them down beside you. And we're going to start to tune into our breath here. If you'd like to add music as well, feel free to place them in the background. I'm not allowed to play any here. So starting to breathe in and out through your nose, letting the eyes close, keeping a constriction at the back of your throat with your exhales. It should start to sound like ocean waves. Feeling your belly expand onto your thighs and then contract. Filling your belly with your inhales and emptying it with your exhales. As you're breathing here, start to relax your mind. Maybe notice how you feel. Not trying to change it, just noticing it. And then notice how your body feels. Any areas of tension or soreness. Notice those areas, and as you exhale, maybe start to relax them. And if you'd like to set an intention for your class today, feel free to do that now. This could be any word or phrase that you'd like to focus on today. And if you'd like to borrow my intention, today my intention for this class is peace. If you brought your hands down beside you, bringing them back forward, walking your fingertips out in front of you. And with your next inhale, start to walk your fingertips towards the left corner of your mat, keeping your forehead resting on the mat, feeling a stretch in your right side body, in your obliques and all the way up your arm. And then with your next inhale, walking them across the mat to the other corner. Feeling a stretch in the other side. Continuing to breathe in and out through the nose. Continuing to let your exhales relax your muscles and your mind. And inhale, walking your hands back to center. And then lifting up onto hands and knees, making sure that your wrists are right under your shoulders and your hips are right over your knees. And as you inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze up to the ceiling for cow. And exhaling to round out the spine, bringing the belly button in, gaze comes towards your knees. Inhaling back to cow. And exhaling to cat. Continue to go through these at your own pace, following your own breath here, exhaling as you come to cat, and inhaling as you come to cow. Just starting to warm up the spine and the core. Go ahead and take one more of each pose. And whenever you're ready, meeting me back in tabletop, flat back. And from here, we're going to inhale the left arm up. And as you exhale, bring it across the mat, dropping that shoulder on the mat. You can turn around so you can see a little better. And resting your head on the mat as well. And with your other hand, you can leave it where it is, or you can walk those fingertips forward, or you can wrap that arm around, resting it on your lower back. This is thread the needle. This is a good stretch for a lot of areas. It stretches out the upper back, the shoulders, and the spine with a gentle twist. It also releases the tension that we commonly hold between our shoulder blades. So feel free to let the eyes close here. And rest for a moment in whichever shape you chose. Continuing to breathe in and out through the nose. And bringing your hand back to the mat if you moved it. Inhaling that arm back up to the sky. And exhaling to bring it back down to the mat. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So inhaling the other arm up. And exhaling to thread the needle, bringing it across the mat. Resting your head, bringing your arm to wherever you'd like. Either keeping it where it was, walking the fingertips forward, or bringing it around your body, resting it on the lower back, or maybe wrapping it to rest on your leg. that hand back to the mat if you moved it. Inhaling back up, reaching towards the sky. And exhale, planting your hand back on the mat. Back in tabletop here. So next we're gonna come into puppy pose. So keeping your hips directly above your knees. Your knees are about hip width distance apart. And walking your hands forward. Starting to drop the chest and the forehead towards the mat. Resting the forehead here. If you had a block, you could rest your forehead on the block as well. And you can leave your hands extended out in front of you, or you can bend at the elbows, bring the palms together, and resting your thumbs on the back of your neck. This is more of a tricep stretch. You'll also feel a stretch in your upper back. Breathing in and out through the nose, letting the eyes close. If you set an intention, maybe bring that back into the forefront of your mind. Bring your hands back to the mat if you brought them up behind your neck. And starting to walk your fingertips closer to your knees. Swinging around, coming to your sits bones. We're gonna come into half butterfly. So with your left leg extended, long into the mat, and your other foot is towards your inner thigh. As you inhale, lifting the arms overhead, and exhaling, turning and folding over that long leg. Not pushing yourself too far, but you should feel a stretch in the back of this leg and your hamstrings. I also like to lift my palms upward. This helps to be more passive in this pose, making sure that you're not pulling yourself forward. Remembering to breathe here. As you exhale, start to relax the back of your leg and any other areas that might feel tense. With every breath, becoming more comfortable in this shape. Keeping your spine long, your collarbone wide. And then inhaling to lift back up, switching out your legs. Inhaling to lengthen the spine. 9, sitting up tall, inhaling the arms overhead. And exhaling to fold over this other leg. Keeping your spine long. Maybe lifting your palms up. Making sure you're not pulling yourself forward. Letting gravity do its work. And exhaling to release tension. And then inhaling to lift back up. From here, we're gonna move into deer pose. So this is a little bit of a different one. Go ahead and bring your left leg towards the top of your mat. It should be parallel to the short edge with a 90-degree angle in your knee. And then your other leg comes to the long edge of your mat, also at a 90-degree angle. So just check both of your knees, make sure it's two 90-degree angles. And then there's a couple options for this pose. Some people like to fold forward over that front leg, and that'll stretch out your left hip. Another option is to walk your hands behind you, pressing the right hip down. This focuses on more of an internal rotation of the hip, which is less common in yoga poses. So if you do a lot of yoga, this is a good pose to do. You can just walk the fingertips out, or if you'd like to drop onto the forearms, that is another option as well. So feel free to try out any of those options, and then resting in the one that feels most comfortable to you. As you inhale, lifting back up, wherever you are, bringing that back leg to straighten, maybe putting more of a bend in your front knee, making sure that your back leg is coming straight out of your hip. We're going to come into pigeon. If you did have a block here, placing it under the left hip would help you not to send your weight into one hip. But again, you don't need any blocks for this pose. As you inhale, lift up, lengthening the spine. As you exhale, feel free to walk the hands forward, maybe coming under your forearms, or maybe stacking your hands and resting your forehead on top of them. Feeling a stretch in the hip here. As you exhale, try to release the tension, sending you a little bit deeper into the stretch each time. So as you inhale, straighten back up. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Coming to deer. Bringing your other leg towards the top of the mat. Making sure both knees come to a 90-degree angle. And choosing whichever option in this pose that you'd like to. Maybe walking forward over your front leg. Or maybe walking your fingertips back. Maybe staying here. Or maybe dropping onto the forearms. Making sure that your legs are staying on the mat. Maybe focusing on that internal rotation of the hip. And when you find a place that you're comfortable, resting there for a moment. Breathing in and out through the nose. Letting the rhythms of your breath start to calm your mind. And then as you inhale, rising up from wherever you are, making your way into pigeon, so extending that back leg, making sure that it's coming right out of your hip. Maybe putting a little bit of more of a bend in your front knee. Making sure you're not dropping your weight into one hip, staying lifted here with the hips squared. Inhaling to lengthen the spine, and exhaling to walk forward. Coming onto your forearms, or maybe resting your forehead on your hands. Finding some rest in this pose. Letting your exhales make you a little bit more comfortable. Relaxing those muscles. Starting to quiet your mind. If any intruding thoughts have come in, just letting them go. Picturing them leaving your mind. And inhaling to walk your hands back up. Coming back to a seated position, we're going to come into fire log. So go ahead and bring your left leg down to the mat with your shin like straight on so it's parallel to an edge. And then bringing your other leg right on top of it. So your legs are two parallel lines here. Inhaling to lengthen the spine. Feel free to stay here or start to walk your hands forward. You should feel a stretch in the hip of that top leg. Only walking forward enough to feel that, not pushing yourself farther. If it feels a little bit too intense, maybe walking your fingertips a little bit more towards yourself. Again, a helpful position is to lift your palms up. Letting the eyes close. Breathing in and out through the nose. As you inhale, walking your hands back up and switching out your legs, bringing the right one down to the mat and your left leg on top of it. Getting comfortable here and making any adjustments you need to. Inhaling to sit up tall and exhaling to walk slightly forward. Maybe just bringing your fingertips in front of you. Maybe going a little bit further out. Maybe lifting your palms up. Relaxing your shoulders. Relaxing your hips. And your upper back. Widening the collarbone. And then inhaling to rise back up. And then making your way down onto your back. As you inhale, lifting your arms over your head. And as you exhale, starting to walk your feet towards the left corner of the mat. And walking your hands to that left corner as well. Coming into banana. Making sure that both your shoulders and both of your hips are staying on the mat. For more of a stretch, maybe cross your right ankle over your left. And maybe grabbing your right wrist with your left hand. Letting the eyes close. Feeling a stretch all the way down the right side of your body. Continuing to breathe. And uncrossing the ankles, releasing your wrist. Inhaling to come to the other side, walking your hands and your feet. Keeping your shoulders and your hips on the mat. Maybe grabbing your wrist and maybe crossing the ankles. Then inhale to bring your feet and your hands back to center. Bring your knees into your chest, hugging them in, maybe clasping your hands, maybe rocking side to side, giving your back a little bit of massage. Bring your knees farther in towards your chest to massage your upper back, or bring them farther out to massage your lower back. And then bring your knees wide here with one hand on each knee. Coming into happy baby, feel free to stay here just with your hands on your knees, or lifting up the feet, grabbing your big toe or the inside of your foot, or maybe grabbing the ankles. Finding what works for you. And taking a moment here, maybe rocking side to side, maybe finding stillness. Letting the eyes close. Give yourself permission to slow down. Not just your body, but also your mind. Quieting your thoughts. Breathing a little bit deeper. Making sure that your whole spine is on the mat. Inhaling as you hug your knees back into your chest. Maybe rocking side to side again. And then dropping your left leg long onto the mat, hugging your right knee in. And exhaling to send your right knee across your body to rest on the floor. Bring your arms to a T, sending your gaze towards your right hand. Letting your eyes close, breathing into this twist. Another option is to extend that bended knee, maybe grabbing onto the toe for a hamstring stretch, or leaving it bent. Making sure both of your shoulders are still on the mat. Starting to find some rest. inhaling to come back to center, bringing both knees into your chest, and then sending the other leg long, hugging your left knee in, and then exhaling to send it across your body, twisting to the other side. Bring the arms to a T, making sure your shoulders are planted on the mat. Gaze comes into the opposite direction that your knee is facing. Option to extend that leg, and maybe grab your big toe, stretching that hamstring, or leaving that leg bent. Remembering to breathe in and out through the nose. Starting to deepen your inhales and extend your exhales. Letting any negative thoughts or emotions leave your mind with your exhales. And with your inhales, receiving some positive energy. And then inhaling to come back to center. Maybe hugging your knees into your chest one last time. If there's any final poses you'd like to take before Shavasana, feel free to take those now. And when you're ready, sending your legs long onto the mat. Finding a comfortable laying position. Maybe your palms are lifted up to receive energy, or maybe they're laying flat onto the mat to stay grounded. Let your eyes close here. Maybe put on some instrumental music, or just lay in silence. Notice how you feel now versus when you stepped onto the mat. As you start to relax further, I'm just going to read a quote. It says, "There is no need for you to rush. Time moves quickly, but it will not move any quicker than it is moving right now. You are free to slow down. Be present in this moment. Let it be the place where you find rest as you wait for what's to come." So with that in mind, just start to slow your breath, slow your thoughts. Relax each and every muscle in your body. And find some rest here. free to stay here as long as you'd like. Maybe pause the video if you want some more time. But whenever you find yourself ready, start to bring some awareness into your breath. Deepening your inhales, lengthening your exhales, and starting to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Slowly waking up your body and your mind. Maybe drawing some circles with your wrists and your ankles, going in one direction and then the other direction. And when you're ready, inhaling your arms over your head, going to a full body stretch. Stretching your fingertips and your toes as far away from each other as you can. And then exhaling to roll onto one side, bending your knees, using your bicep as a pillow. If you set an intention at the beginning of class, bringing that back to your mind, choosing to focus on that now and throughout the rest of your day. Maybe noticing if you feel a change in your body or your mind. Maybe you do or maybe you don't. Either way, choosing to extend yourself some grace and gratitude today, because you are doing enough. Thank yourself for using this time to nurture yourself. And set up your mind to go about the rest of your day in a positive way. When you're ready, inhaling to come up to a seated position, cross-legged or however is comfortable. We're going to take one more breath together. So inhaling your arms overhead, bringing your palms to touch, and as you exhale, bringing your hands towards your forehead for kind thoughts, towards your mouth for kind words, and towards your heart for kind intentions towards yourself and others. Namaste means the light in me honors and appreciates the light in you. Namaste.